Hello folks, Simulation for the Nation here, and in today's video we are going to be looking into the Enhanced Vehicle mod. What it can do for you, how you can use it, and how it's going to enhance your vehicles in Farming Simulator 25. Let's go. So first things first, the Enhanced Vehicle mod is out, only available right now on GitHub, or all of the download sites that you might usually look at will point you in that direction. So that does mean that it is only available for PC and Mac right now, and it's probably going to be the way it stays just because of the complexity of the mod itself. But there'll be a link in the description down below for GitHub, so you can go and find it there. Click on the link to download it as a zip file, copy and paste that zip file on into your download folder, and then you'll be all set to go. And then you are ready to go. Enable it when you come into your game like you would any other mod, and then you're set. And what you should find when you come on over and jump into your vehicle is that something that looks a little bit like the HUD in the bottom right corner there. It's the generic HUD that we're used to from the base game, but with a lot more going on. So let's have a look into that, shall we? First things first. We'll start with the tractor as we would normally. There's a few different lines there. All the little boxes at the top, they're all GPS related. We'll touch on that very shortly. We don't need to worry about that right now. A couple of additions that there are here that we need to worry about straight away. First of all, there is a handbrake. When you see there's a little P at the top left corner of the dash, that is your handbrake. When it's red, it is on. So I cannot move anywhere, and you get please release the parking brake. On PC, now keyboard, to release that you press the numpad enter. And that will remove that for you, and now you're free to drive. To the left of that, you'll see the four wheels in the transmission hub there. That is your diff locks. Now that's pretty cool. It'll allow you to change and toggle the diff locks on or off when you are in a field. Particularly good now that you've got dynamic terrain in there as well, so it really adds that extra level of immersion. To do so, it is right control and the keypad 7, 8, and 9 as well to turn on and off four-wheel drive. So that is all pretty sweet too. Aside from that though, you're also going to see a lot of additional information on the dash there, around the revometer and the speedo. If you take a look where you have the engine hours, which on this vehicle is 92.6 hours, you'll also see you're going to have the engine temperature. You're also going to have above that your mileage. So right now, because I've driven this from right there to here, I've done 0.02 miles, and as we continue to drive around you should expect to see that continue to tick on up and up and up. So you'll be able to work out how many miles you're doing on your machine, and if that's going to be a factor in for you servicing it, for example, or looking to change it in and trade it in. But that's pretty neat to see there too. As you'll see though, the GPS is starting to function here because it's calculating the bearing at which we're traveling, and it's letting you know what that looks like. So we're going to touch on that one in a little bit more detail very shortly. Up at the top right corner of the screen, you'll notice just below your finances, you'll see two little icons there. You've got damage and you've got fuel. The fuel level is self-explanatory. I'll show you how many litres you got left in the tank and the maximum. So right now the maximum capacity is 118 litres, and we're sitting pretty at 118 litres. But below that will also show you how many litres per hour you are burning. So again, depending upon the job you're doing there, you'll see that number go up or go down. And it'll be quite interesting to see. Obviously, if you're doing a heavy cultivation, you expect to see that number a lot lower than you would if you're just cruising along without anything on the back on the road. Above that though, damage and painting, that's going to be quite interesting and also relevant, because I can stop spinning around in circles now. It's going to show you, give you an more accurate number and depiction for this blue service bar in the bottom right corner. What it's going to tell you is what percentage of damage you're at, but also what percentage of painting you're at. So if you don't want your vehicle to get too low on the service, you can keep an eye on it a bit more accurately there to see where you are at, and also how much of the paint on your vehicle has faded off as well, and it's going to need to be repainted. And final thing to look into as well, at the very bottom right hand corner below the dial, you've got your weight for the vehicle, currently sitting at 5 tons. If you want to change any of this, you absolutely can do that. What you can do is press right control and the / button on the number pad, and that's going to give you this little menu here. A few things to notice: if you make any changes you don't like, you can hit this button right here, but you'll see this bit here is GPS related. We'll touch on that very soon, and we'll get into that again. Similarly, this is all going to be GPS as well. Coming on down the way, HUD settings, you can turn on and off anything that we've looked into there. So for example, you can turn off the damage values there. You can also turn off the fuel if you want, and the engine temperature and things like that, and the weight as well. So if we then go OK, you'll see they're all gone. and it just clears that HUD off for you as well, but it still keeps the essentials there. There's improved hydraulic control available for you as well, essentially allowing you to independently and a bit more accurately lift up different implements, which you can do throughout. There are I think it is right, left, shift, and the number pad 1 through 6 will allow you to lift those up and to have a play around with those. Mileage counter is exactly what it is. Parking brake, again, exactly what it is. You can disable that if you don't really like it or you've had enough. And that is pretty much the whole configurable options in here. Now, for the next stage, we're going to jump on over to the next tractor that we have parked up over here and have a look into all things GPS. Now, first thing's worth pointing out, there is GPS currently available. We all know that Farming Simulator 25 came with its own version of GPS involved there, and that is still there, even with Enhanced Vehicle. If you want to press and hold H, it'll give you the generic AI and or a steering assist menu for you there as well. Right now, though, we are looking at the Enhanced Vehicle. So what you can see here is the foundations of what that looks like. Now, in this cab, you'll see, check out all of the figures above the revometer in the bottom right corner. They're all starting to look like they're working now. So it's currently green because we have activated and we are locked onto our track. If I press right control and end, you can log onto your steering, or if you press it again, it'll turn it off. When it's green and it's all lit through there, that is what you want to see. I just quickly wanted to show you this, but before we go much further, to change the direction of the tracks that you are making in your field, when you get into the field, you're going to use right control and keypad number 2, but it does follow the terrain angles. So you're going to be limited, as I press it here, to the angles in which you can actually choose to work your field. You'll see it doesn't quite follow the angle of the red lines the tractor is facing in there. So you do get a few options there, but I believe that's going to be what, times 16 multi-terrain, so that's as many as you're going to get. But right control number 2 will be the options to choose your angles. Now to the left of that, you've got a hashtag 0, an arrow +1, arrow +1 again. And above that, you've got the steering wheel, and then you've got the rows. Now what that arrow and what the 0, right arrow +1, right arrow +1 is indicating is which lane you're going to go into when it turns it at the end. And the reason that's important is because I have this set to automatic turning. You don't need to, you don't have to. Again, if you come on into your menu, so right control and /, you can change that here in the Headland mode. You can have turn around automatically when it gets to the end. You can have disable cruise control so your vehicle stops, or you can have nothing at all and you'll take control. If you choose to have this version set up that I do, you will have the distance for when this will be activated. So currently it's 8 meters from the edge of the headland, which is 2 working widths of this implement that I have on the back. And the alarm is going to sound about 10 meters, beg your pardon. So give me a little bit more time, a little bit more warning there as well. Down here you can choose which lines and how many lines of the GPS are actually present and available. You can also choose to show none of them at all, or just what you're working on and the vehicle working with as well. But we're going to keep them all on so we can see right now. And all we're going to do is drive forward nice and slowly and see what happens as we get closer towards the edge here. And there goes the beep to let us know, hey, you're getting towards the end of the field. So what we should see very shortly, as I don't do anything, there it goes. Automatically it's going to turn around. Oh, I pressed the wrong button there. We're going to lift up the plough though, because that's still on me to do that. We don't have headland management in per se. Now, because we don't really have any kind of headland here, what you should find is that you'll have to incorporate that in. But it's going to go on to loop number 2 here. So that was quite a tight turn. And what you'd want to really see is that you can make it a little bit easier for the AI to do that. And there is a way that you can make that work. So what you'll see this time is, we're going to come to the end. I'm going to press right control and keypad number 6. And I want you to pay attention to where it's hashtag number 2. And then the arrows there, which is in the top left just above the revometer. As I do that, you'll see that now goes hashtag number 2, arrow +2. So it's going to take the second turn, which you can see number 4 is now in bold, and that will be the track that we turn onto. And again, because we're lifting up 8 or 10 meters earlier than the field boundary, there it goes, it turns. So now it's going to be a softer turn. It should be able to get right round nice and quickly onto number 4, which we're going to look to do right about now. Which will mean that we don't miss quite so much and have to have quite such a large headland. It's already locked in. I can press that down, and we're back in pretty quickly. And that's probably about 3 headlands, I would say, at the end there, rather than we missed a lot more at the other end. And you can also adjust that down as well if you want to go on the very next one by pressing Control and keypad 4, and that will turn it back down to +1. You can also keep going as well, and it will go -1, which means it'll start to go the other way and fill in the hole, the track in the middle. But we're going to keep going as we are. And now you can see, because it's going to miss the next pass on our left this time, it's going to pick up number 6. Now before it does that, we're going to go right control and we're going to go forward slash into our settings again. The headland distance here. This is currently set up so we turn around at the end of the headland. This is 8 meters before the field boundary. If I turn that up to about 20 meters, what you're going to find is that 20 meters before the edge of that field is going to start to turn. You can also make it, though, 1 meter behind the edge of the field boundary. So if I go, say, 5 meters behind the end of the field, watch what happens here. So rather than lifting up where we did previously, and also you can see, look how much time it took us to square back up and get the implement put down on that last pass. That's not going to be a problem for us anymore. We're going to keep going all the way to the very end here. I'm going to lift up manually again. Remember, you have to lift up your implements when you get to the end. There's our beep to say we're at the field boundary. And then we're going to lift it up here. And then about now, there you go, we're going to start to turn. And we're going to go on to pass number 6. Nice and easily. And in you go. It automatically locks back on there. It's going to straighten itself up. I'll put this down whenever I want. Now, before we get to the end of this field, there's something else I want to point out. You'll see in the top right corner of those dialog boxes above the revelometer, we have a number 5, 5 meters with an upwards arrow and a bent over arrow to indicate that we're going to turn on the headland. You can control what that does. That is essentially telling you if you're in headland mode, or if you're just going to disable cruise control, you're going to do nothing at all. You'll see by pressing right control and star, it's now got the disable cruise control icon. Press it again, it's got nothing at all. Press it again, you're in the headland mode. So that's good. Right now it's telling us that we're 27 meters out from the edge of the headland, and at 5 meters past the edge of the field, we're going to turn. However, let's say that you're in a field in a map where suddenly there's a big drop off, a cliff, or there's a river, so you can't go 5 meters beyond the field headland to turn around. 2 different ways you can adjust that. First of all, you can go right control and shift. You can come into here and do it here, but you can also do it on the fly. You would essentially be turning this down here from 5 meters behind to, say, 20 meters before, 10 meters before. And if we click OK, you'll see that number is now 10 meters with the arrow pointing up towards the line now. However, you can also change it in the on the fly as well. You're going to use right shift, and you're going to use the star and divide button, and you'll see that that number is now going down, and it's changing. So right now it's 9 meters after the field finishes, and if I can go up there, that is at 20 meters after the headland finishes, and now it's 4 meters before the edge of the headland, which we'll get to very shortly. But we're going to change that to be about 8 meters before the edge of the field. And that little number in the corner there, that little yellow number, 14, is how many meters we are away before that finishes. Or before we get to that point in the field. So again, what you're going to find out now, in 11 meters, 9 meters now, we're going to get a beep, and we're going to start to see some action. There's our beep, and there it goes to turn around. And it's going to turn onto track number... There you go, track number 8. So it's missed 1. I'm going to put this back down again. So in theory, the next track if we would go on one would be track number 10, but of course that's going to be the edge of the field. So that's not going to really work for us. So what we're going to do right now then, we're going to go to -1. So right now, by using right control and keypad 4, I've gone from it choosing to go up number 9. We're going to go back and fill in the gaps. So we're going to go to number 7 next. There's a lot of confusing numbers here, but once you start to have a play around with it, remember that control pad and or the number pad and right control are your friends. You'll be able to dial that one in. You can also choose to keep all these lines up right now so it makes it a little bit more familiar, and over time you can start to turn those down or turn them off entirely once you're familiar with how everything's going to work. And there it goes again to turn. Now, it's going to be a bit more of a challenging turn right now because it needs to go right back onto the track number 7. So it's going to have to turn all the way around on itself here. So what I'd probably do in game would be to disengage it completely, just so I can get it set back up for the first time. because once it's on that first time, don't forget, it's going to start to then skip down another number there as well. Right now, it wants us to go back onto track number 6 because that's only going to be one pass over to the left. But we want it to miss that one because we've already done it. So you can press right control, keep at 4, and now you'll see it's going to go down number 5 as the next route. And that is all set up so you can now work your way all the way back down through the field there without skipping a beat. And when you come to the finish, when you're done for the day, you can quite simply park, put the handbrake on, turn off the engine, and get on out. So there you go. Enhanced Vehicle Mod adds so much more complexity and realism to your GPS rather than just pressing and holding H and choosing it through there. That is still a really great way if you like the simplistic steering assistance. And it does work really well for hired worker as well, in my opinion. But if you want a little bit more accuracy, you want to start to bring in headland management, enhanced vehicle options are for you. Like I say, right now it's only available on the GitHub. Now that typically does mean that's where modders will put out their scripts just to continue to test them, upgrade them, and then quite often we will see that they will make their way to ModHub at some point. Consoles, unfortunately, probably not because of the complexity, but we'll see. Never say never. I hope you have enjoyed this though. If you haven't yet to do so, please do consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribing for more. I've been Simulation for the Nation, and we'll see you all in the next one.